Top of the morning to you all today. It's corned beef and cabbage day at Vision Center for Spiritual Living, much to our delight. But one thing that we're going to do is we're all going to contribute to this first song that was brilliantly written by James Vandenberg, borrowing lyrics from the Science of Mind textbook. So please stand and sing I Am That I Am.
Giving great thanks for this morning, for everything that it is, knowing that it is a gift from God. That's why we call it the present. I know and accept right here, right now, God is fully present in our lives and the lives of everyone, that there is one energy, one universal intelligence behind all life everywhere, and we call that spirit. We know it as the beloved, the divine creator that has created everything out of itself, never being absorbed by its creations. So I know everything is God. I know the very earth we walk on is holy ground because it is the body of God, that natural and logical outpicturing of a sentient energy that knows of itself in form and delights in it. And I know that is the truth of us. We are those outpicturings, those divine incarnations of spirit, made out of spirit, knowing of ourselves as spirit. So grateful we come together to remind ourselves and each other of this eternal truth, that the divine activity of spirit is the thing that is running our lives, breathing our breath, beating our heart, and thinking our thoughts. And so I give great thanks for this truth. I know it is so, and so it is. I love the choir, don't you? It's just what a wonderful day to ring in a Sunday morning. So what can I tell you? Hello, happy St. Patrick's Day weekend. I guess we're stretching it out a little bit, right? Here at Vision, we're going to celebrate with a little corned beef and cabbage and potatoes. Is potato? Is potato. We are celebrating St. Patrick's Day this weekend, so thank you for being here, and just thank you for coming in on this lovely Sunday morning. They didn't say it was going to rain today, right? I don't know what's going on. I thought it was supposed to be sunny until Tuesday. Whatever. I want you to know that we are a Center for Spiritual Living. Number one, that's what we are. We have licensed practitioners all around the room that know the truth for us, and they are the ones that pray for us every day, every week, every month, all year long. And I would love for the practitioners to stand up. Just show yourselves, practitioners. Look at these lovely, delightful people. Practitioners and ministers both, who know the truth for us and pray with us and for us all year and all the time. And there is a prayer request form in your bulletin. On the back of it is the list of the licensed practitioners here at Vision. You call one, get one on your speed dial. Just get one all for yourself. Just call them up, say, I want to just monthly slot. Just put me right in there and have a session every month. Just get yourself in the mode of just, this is my angel. Licensed practitioners are your angels that know the truth for you all the time and absolutely can pray into being for you what your heart's desire is. So do that. Have a practitioner on your speed dial. But today you have the practitioner, you have the request, the prayer request. So fill that out and put it in the boxes that the practitioners are carrying around. You at home, we have a meet and greet room at the end of the celebration. Go to it, and you can have one-on-one prayer. We have breakout rooms. It's just you and a practitioner praying. So do that no, just do it anyway. I was going to say if there's something on your heart. No, do it anyway, right? We pray if everything is okay, too. That's the wonderful thing about prayer. Everything's fine, you still want prayer. Everything is kind of upset or there's turmoil, you want prayer. No matter what, get prayer, right? Things can always get better, can't they? Meister Eckhart said, if the only prayer that you ever say your whole life is, thank you, that would be enough. So get prayer. What else do I want to tell you? Oh, I know, we're celebrating St. Patrick's Day, but it is still Women's History Month. So I wanted to spotlight a woman in history. We've been doing that every Sunday. So this week I wanted to talk about Sacagawea. Everybody familiar with her? More than just the golden dollar, right? They put her on that gold $1 coin, but there's a lot more maybe you don't know about her. And the information about her is very limited, so here's what I know. She was born 1788, and she was from the Shoshone tribe near what is now Idaho. In 1800, when she was 12 years old, she was kidnapped and taken to another tribe where she was sold off to marriage slavery at 12 years old, 13. At 13 years old, could you imagine? Anyway, she lived there with her husband in what was North Dakota at the time. So She was sold into this non-consensual marriage by a gentleman. He was a French-Canadian fur trapper, I think, Toussaint Charbonneau. And they wound up in a little area, wherever that was, with the Hidatsa tribe. So, Lewis and Clark, on their expedition, wound up at that same fort, and they were looking for someone who could help them with plotting out the map of the land that the United States had just purchased, right? We all know about the Louisiana Purchase from high school history, whatever. Okay, so they looked around that fort to find someone who could speak several native languages and could help them on this trail to the Pacific Ocean. And they discovered Sacagawea, so of course they hired her husband. Great. Anyway, so she was pregnant with her first child, and they hired him, the husband, and so she came along. She had her baby right before they left on this journey, thousands and thousands of miles, some of it by boat, on the river. They had a bunch of, canoes? I don't know what. But one of them tipped over, and I can't even imagine, with this infant child, jumped in and rescued all of their paperwork and things that they needed, tools and stuff that had fallen out of the boat. So she was just she was always right on with everything. She spoke languages. She negotiated with tribes along the way so that the expedition could buy horses and other supplies that they needed along the way. She wound up negotiating with one of the Shoshone tribes, which she was from, and it turned out that the tribal chief was her brother. So that really helped. And even in the other tribes that were not Shoshone, she was a valuable addition, because when they saw an all-man expedition, an all-white man expedition, but that they had one Native American woman there, the other tribes thought they were safe, that they weren't there to raid or to kill or anything because of her presence there with her little infant child. Let's see, where did they get to? Let me do this real quick. When they reached the Pacific Ocean, all members of the expedition, and I love this part because they make it a big deal, had to vote on where to build the fort. And they actually allowed her to vote. Don't you love that? That's my favorite part. Anyway, following the expedition, Charbonneau and Sacagawea spent 3 years among the Hidatsa people before accepting William Clark's invitation to settle in St. Louis, Missouri. And actually, Clark became a guardian for her child and sent him to school at the St. Louis Academy boarding school. And then they went back to live with their group. Now, according to Bonnie Windwalker Butterfield, historical documents say that Sacagawea died in 1812 of an unknown illness. But I find it very interesting that some oral traditions say that rather than dying in 1812, Sacagawea left her husband, Charbonneau, crossed the Great Plains, and married into the Comanche tribe, where it is said she returned after that to the Shoshone in 1860 in Wyoming, and she died in 1884. However, there is no independent evidence supporting that tale. But what a wonderful thought, anyway. So, if you didn't know before, now you know. Sacagawea. Yay. Yep, I love it. I love it. Now you know what's next, right? Guest packets. I know you know. I know you know. We do this every week. There are guest packets here. If you don't have one, get one. Even if you're a member, give it to somebody you know. Give it to somebody you're going to go and have lunch with later. No, you're having lunch here. Never mind. Tomorrow, go give it to someone tomorrow. It's a wonderful idea in here, wonderful ideas about vision, wonderful information about vision. Tells you who we are as a spiritual community, what we're up to, what we're going to be up to, plans. There's plans in here. All sorts of things. You want to know what vision is up to, don't you? What are we up to? Good. We're up to good all the time. There is a greeting on the front of it. Let's say it together for ourselves to remind ourselves, and let's say it for our guests and for the Vision community online. We love you. We miss you. Please come back whenever you can. You ready? Whoever you are and wherever you are welcome here. You are safe and you are loved. Yeah, don't you love that? Oh, it gives me chills. Okay, look at all of you beautiful, smiling, shining faces. Blech, can't say it both. Smiling, shiny faces out there. Turn to somebody and say, welcome to Vision, and maybe get their name. What the heck? Make lunch plans for tomorrow. Go to the movies together. Whatever. I love it. Okay.
Good morning and welcome to Vision. We are so glad that you're here with us this beautiful Sunday morning. My name is Donna Thomas and I am a licensed spiritual counselor here at Vision. Just get settled in your seats. I'm going to read a couple of quotes and then we're going to listen to the tones of the bowl afterwards to bring us into and out of meditation. Our first quote this morning: true belonging happens when we present our authentic, imperfect selves to the world. Our sense of belonging can never be greater than our level of self-acceptance. And this is from Brené Brown. And from our founder, Ernest Holmes: our mind and spirit is our echo of the eternal thing itself. And the sooner we discover this fact, the sooner we shall be made free and happy. The memorial candle is burning today for Sheila Kane, friend of Anne DiNapoli and of Vision. Sheila made her transition yesterday. And we know right here and right now that our hearts and our feelings and our love go out to Sheila and her friends and family, to each and every one of us that knew her, that loved her. And we know that as we go through this grieving period, we are lifted up knowing that Sheila is free and she is going onward. Her soul is moving onward and upward in the spiral of life as she begins a new journey. And it is good, it is very good, and we are all supported and loved by having known her and she having known us, and we are all grateful. And I know that right here, right now, there is only one presence, one being, one first principle, one divine mind, one spirit, and it is God. It is right here, right now. It is within each and every one of us. We are individualized expressions of this one, and we demonstrate this with all that we do and all that we are. Is this oneness is coming through each and every one of us, and we feel it and we know it. We are divine expressions living right here, right now. And as I know and accept this truth for each and every one of us, our lives are guided and directed by this one. There is no mistake that we are all here by divine appointment, by the direction of the divine, and we are here to support and love each other. And we are here to be free and to belong. And in this freedom, we are allowing ourselves, with the Spirit within us, to be free expressions of who we are. And it is good, it is very good. As we release anything that is holding us back, we are free to express, we are free to be, and it is wonderful. And I feel it and I know it for each and every one of us. And we are in gratitude for the assistance that Vision has within it, with all of the individuals' expressions, the volunteers, each doing what they aspire to do and love to do, and bring this love and togetherness and beingness to Vision to support each and every service. And we know that this is done in great love and in freedom and belonging, for we are one right here and right now. And as I release these words into law, I know that they are made manifest, for there is only one expressing as one. And it is good, it is very good. And as I let it go and let it be, I say, and so it is.
Oh, I'm up here without my book. Can I have that? I'll need that. It's got quotes in it. Very funny. Good morning, all. So we are still in March. You can tell by the green hats and the green clothes and everything. I love it. Okay. So the monthly theme, cultivating authenticity. And that is awesome. And today's talk is free and belonging, which I think can kind of sound like a contradiction, but let's go into it anyway. What the heck? I want to start with a quote by Maya Angelou regarding freedom and belonging, and she said this: "You are only free when you realize you belong no place. You belong every place, no place at all." Which also sounds to me kind of like a contradiction in terms, doesn't it? Wow. Okay, so let's just dive into that. Freedom, if you look up the definition, right? Freedom is the power to act or speak or think as one wants without hindrance or restraint. Now, that doesn't mean the right to do as we please. It means the opportunity to do what's right without hindrance or restraint against another, right? Freedom does not deny freedom to another person. My freedom, what is it? I think Ernest Holmes said, right? My freedom ends where your freedom begins. Right? We can't, impose our will on somebody else. Our freedom ends where your freedom begins. In Richer Living, he said this, Ernest Holmes said, "We all wish to be free, but at the same time, we must realize that liberty is not license. To say that we are free with the freedom of God does not mean that we're free to do that which contradicts divine nature. We are free only in that freedom that God is. Free to be alive, free to enjoy living. We are to enter into the activities of everyday living with enthusiasm and interest. We are free to love and to be loved. We are free to give full and complete expression to every capacity we possess, provided that freedom harms no one and hurts no thing." So this is our God-given freedom, right? As long as we don't intrude on someone else. True freedom, the freedom to think and live and create, because we are creative beings after all. We have been created by the Creator that creates, and so it created us out of itself with that same ability to create in the microcosm what Spirit does in the macrocosm. We create. Spirit creates on the universal level. We create on the personal level. That's what we do. And that's part of our freedom, isn't it? The freedom to be authentic, to be our authentic selves, to create as only we can. Even though there are 7.5 billion, are there 8 billion by now? I don't know. I've been using that figure for a while. Maybe there are 8. I don't remember. Anyway, there's a bunch of us on the planet. And we all create our own unique, individualized way. We can be artists or musicians or singers or dancers, but nobody does it exactly like you do, right? We are here because we are a necessary part of the diversity of all life. And we are free to express our authentic selves. We are free to create from that sense of authenticity. We are free to live just open and free and loving, and that takes courage. Takes courage, doesn't it? To show up and just, show up as your authentic self. It takes courage. It takes courage to create something that people can see. It takes courage to sing, in the open around a whole bunch of people. Look at our choir here, right? It takes courage to do that, to put yourself out there and sing in front of a bunch of people. And they're volunteers, I want you to know. And they are volunteers. They volunteer to do this, to share their beautiful voices with us. It takes courage to do that, doesn't it? You know. It takes courage to dance while people are looking, or else there wouldn't be that expression, right? Dance like no one's watching. Because everybody's watching. That takes courage to do that. It takes courage to bare our souls to the world in writing. To bare our souls to the world where everyone seems to be a critic. Everybody seems to be a critic. Particularly now with social media, boy, everybody just jumps on and tells you what they think. That is a very vulnerable place to put yourselves. Now, Brené Brown has written extensively, and I love that quote. That was just wonderful. Thank you, Don. I love that quote this morning by Brené Brown about authenticity. But she said this. She said, vulnerability means showing up and being seen. We want to create, right? We all do, because we're spirit. We're an outpicturing of spirit. That's what we do. We want to create, but when we show up and are seen, we are guaranteed to get our ass kicked. And if you are not in the arena also getting your ass kicked, I'm not interested in your feedback. Okay? So there we are. So really what I'm thinking is vulnerability is not a weakness. We kind of connect those two things, vulnerability and weakness, but vulnerability is not a weakness. It is our ability to see our potential for growth. Right? It's our ability to place ourselves out there and understand our potential for growth. It takes courage then to see that through. Right? It takes vulnerability to place ourselves out there, but it takes courage to see it through, to place it in the open market. It's our ability to stay true to our authentic self. Right? So you're not hiding anymore. And there will always be critics, let me tell you. There will always, always, always be critics. And if you look for them, you will find them. And if you look for evidence that you don't belong, you will find it. And if you look for evidence that you're broken, they'll be glad to tell you that you are. There are critics all around us. If you look for evidence that you don't fit in, you'll find it. You'll find it. But we don't have to do that. We don't need to make that choice. We can live in our authentic lives and put ourselves out there and not be interested in what people say, particularly those people who are not doing, right? It is for us to stay true to our creations, to the stuff that's on our heart, right? I don't know if you saw that little YouTube thing. It was on someplace. It was on social media somewhere. This little girl, she was 8 years old, and she wrote a piece of music. Did you see that? Oh, my gosh. She wrote in a little pencil in her little, she wrote this beautiful little piece of music, but her mother said, oh, play it. Let's put it on YouTube or TikTok, whatever it was. I don't remember. And she said, oh, no, it's not good enough, you know? And so her mom put it out on social media and said, would somebody please play this so that I know what it sounds like? And so somebody picked it up and played it and put it up there on social media, and then somebody else grabbed it, and then somebody else grabbed it, and then pretty soon there was a huge orchestra playing her little piece of music, and it was like, oh my gosh, talk about that. Wouldn't you love that kind of support, right? You put out your little creation, and it just gets loved and accepted, and everybody plays with it. And that's what we do. We create, and we have to stay true to our creations, our artwork, our music. James, you write beautiful music, right? You write originals. I see them up there, written, music and lyrics by James Vandenberg, and he puts it out there. That's what we do. And sometimes we have to stand alone, and that's okay. Sometimes we have to stand alone behind our creation, and that's okay. Going back to Brené Brown, she said, true belonging is a spiritual practice. And it's about finding the sacredness as both being a part of something, but also the courage to stand alone. Right? Both and. And don't we say that about religious science? We're the people of both and, right? Whenever those conversations come up about optimist and pessimist, and is the glass half full or half empty? And I keep saying, I'm a religious scientist. There's limitless refills. I don't care. I don't care if it's half empty or half full. Being true to ourselves and being a part of something greater than ourselves and knowing when to do one and when to do the other. Which brings me right back to the Maya Angelou quote, right? You're free when you realize you belong no place, you belong every place. No place at all, right? Both and. Now, that quote went on. It came from an interview that she did with, I can't remember who it was. Bill Moyers, is that he's, okay. And there was more to that quote, and she went on and said, all right, let me put it all together. You only are free when you realize you belong no place. You belong every place. No place at all. The price is high. The reward is great. I belong to myself. I belong to Maya. And what is true for Maya is true, of course, for us. We belong no place. We belong every place. We belong to ourselves wherever we show up. Wherever we show up, wherever we belong, right? Wherever we go, or nowhere, wherever we belong to ourselves. And as we continue creating this authenticity of our own lives, as we continue, right, experimenting and putting ourselves out there little by little, being our honest self out there, as we continue cultivating this authenticity, we demonstrate more and more of the qualities of God. That is our authentic self, isn't it? The qualities of God. We are spirit in form. So whatever those qualities of God are, and I'm not even going to turn around and look for that list up there on the banner because it's not there and I know it. I finally got it, and then now we're going to change it. But you know the qualities of God: love and joy and abundance and beauty and balance and all of those qualities. That's our authentic self. We are God in form demonstrating. So that is our authentic self. We let that come out. That's freedom. And then as we do that, as we put more of ourselves out there, more of our authentic selves out there, we develop more strength, more courage, more faith. We grow our faith by doing that. Ernest Holmes in Divine Science said the divine plan is one of freedom. Bondage is not God ordained. Freedom is the birthright of every living soul. All instinctively feel this. The truth points to freedom under the law. Thus, the inherent nature of the human is forever seeking to express itself in terms of freedom. We shall do well to listen to this inner voice, for it tells us of a life wonderful in its scope, of a love beyond our fondest dreams, and of a freedom the soul craves. Our soul craves that expression, that authentic expression. And that takes courage. It takes courage to show up just as we are and just as we are not, without trying to meet someone else's expectations of us, without trying to fit in, without trying to anticipate someone else's needs, desires and wants, and then meeting them or trying to fill them or trying to anticipate them. We can turn ourselves into pretzels, really, trying to be what someone else expects from us. But when we do that in order to fit in, we no longer fit in with ourselves. We must be our authentic selves. Spirit created you just like that. Spirit created you just like that. And it's up to us to let it all hang out, to be that authentic self in the world. Carl Jung said, the world will ask you who you are. And if you do not know, the world will tell you. And who wants that? You don't want the world telling you who to be, or what you have to be, or what to believe in order to be accepted, in order to be part of the group. What we want is to be able to express our true authenticity in a safe place, to express ourselves fully, self-expressed, creative, whole beings, living life to its fullest, living the life that Spirit knows we are. Right? We all want to live free. Beings that belong everywhere and nowhere in particular. Right? Everywhere. Being, expressing, growing, changing, being part of something greater than yourself, but also the ability to stand alone when you stand in truth. Takes courage to express that kind of freedom. Takes courage to be that vulnerable, to put ourselves out there and risk it. Right? We risk exposing our true selves. We risk the rejection. We risk the ridicule. We risk the laughter, maybe. But it's worth it. It is worth it. Remember, the price is high, the reward is great. We belong to ourselves. And you can't go wrong when you stand in the truth. I remember there was a conversation I was having with someone at some party, and I was just chatting and having a conversation, and somebody walked through. Alcohol does weird things to people. Anyway, somebody sort of just walked through the conversation and said, "This is really, really boring. You know, you're a very boring person." And then just kept going. And I went, what was that? Oh my gosh, what was that? Now, I'm just being honest. After all, it's just truth. No, it's not. When we do things like that, we're not expressing truth, we're expressing our own bigoted opinions, right? Our own judgmental opinions, that's all. That's not truth. So you gotta, difference between the two. But when we are being our authentic selves, we are expressing out of truth. We are expressing out of truth. And it does take courage for that, risking our true selves and risking rejection, the whole bit. It is worth it. The price is high, the reward is great. We get to belong to ourselves. And not everybody's going to love everything we do and say. And that's just the way it is, right? I mean, those that love us. Well, that Irish, I love that Irish blessing, right? I put that up, I think, on Facebook for St. Patty's Day. May those that love us love us. And may those that don't love us, may God turn their hearts. And if God doesn't turn their hearts, may he turn their ankles so we'll know them by their limping. We're just, I'm not everybody's cup of tea either. You know what I mean? It's like it is not, and that's okay. Let those that love us, right? The price is high, the reward is great. Growing our faith, demonstrating the qualities of God as us, through us, saying yes to that expression, the expression of truth, the expression of being everything that Spirit knows us to be. The reward is great. In Creative Mind and Success, Ernest Holmes said this. He said, the individual who has the most power is the one who has the greatest realization of the divine presence, and to whom this means the most as an active principle in his life. So that's putting the feet to this philosophy of the science of mind and spirit, isn't it? Believing the principles, demonstrating them, proving them, proving the principle in your life, living the principles. He goes on to say this: we all need more backbone and less wishbone. There is something which waits only our recognition to spring into being, bringing with it all the power of the universe. It all waits on our welcome. It all waits upon us to say yes, right? Knock and the door will be opened. We've known this forever. We are that. Free, belonging, vulnerable, courageous, powerful. Powerful enough to manifest the life Spirit knows us as. Powerful enough to manifest the life of our dreams. Thank you.
He's on down the
Yeah, they got it dialed in, don't they? Oh my gosh. Higher Vision Choir, I love it. Thank you so much. Headed up by James Vandenberg. Thank you so much. I just love that. Oh my gosh. Now it is time for the online. Yeah, it's time for you to take over. Come on, would you please? It is time for conscious circulation. And if you are supporting Vision, thank you as a member or a guest or an owner. I love that. We go from being guests to being members, from members to owners, right? When you know when it's like your place. And I know you know. So if you are choosing to give and support this ministry and everything that we do inside and outside these walls, thank you. From the core council, just so grateful. And it keeps us in our spiritual practice, right? The idea of God, am I here? Yeah. God's abundance just flowing through our experience of life. And we know as we pass it on, we accept more good, and we could never outgive God. It is just a lovely demonstration of the qualities of God. And this particular quality is known as abundance. So let's pray abundance, shall we? What I know is true is that spirit is all there is. There is nothing else. There is no division. There is no duality. There is only God. And I know that it expresses itself as everything that there is. And those qualities of God are qualities of us. They flow through us to the extent that we embody them, we believe them, we demonstrate them, we live them. We live from the principles, knowing that God is all there is, that we are an outpicturing of the one source, and we absolutely know that one source supplies itself with everything we need, want, and desire all the time. The gift is already given, and we partake of that by recreating that divine givingness. So I give thanks for all of this good. I know that we stand in the river of God's abundance, fully present, open-hearted and open-handed, and we accept gratefully, and we give graciously, and we remain in the flow always. And so it is. Now it's time for the Miracle Minute, and I have a couple. I love this. Hang on a second. Let me get the right piece of paper. Here we go. Okay, this one comes from Donna. She has submitted a prayer request for a successful surgery for the removal of a basal cell carcinoma on her nose. The doctor was able to remove it all with all the correct margins, all on the first attempt, bandaging and that big old clown nose for a while. But that's okay, right? Who knows? You don't have the bandage on anymore. I love it. Okay, there you go. Stitches were removed. The inspection of the wound area, everything was perfect. The doctor said everything is healing. And she said, thank you, practitioners and Prayer Ministry for your support. Yay, another happy customer. I love that. Prayer works. Absolutely does. Please remember your prayer requests. And this one from Shar, a company that she was going to purchase a microwave oven had sent someone to do the measuring. And when he came, he said he couldn't do it because of side panel trim or something like that. Anyway, she was at a loss of what to do. She remembered prayer. I love that. And she remembered our drummer, Dan Achapinti, who had done work for her before. He was able to do a wonderful job of installing it, panels and all. Thankful for his work. Shar, prayer works. Thank you so much. Keep those demonstrations of answered prayer coming in. We love reading them. We love sharing them. We love it because it keeps us on our spiritual path, doesn't it? Keeps us going back to that meditation cushion. Even if we haven't had our own demonstration, we know it works because we hear so much good news coming back. So keep up the good work, guys. Yay, everyone. Everyone, keep up the good work because we know what? Okay, that was a little lame. Come on. Prayer changes things, absolutely. And now it is time for The Last Word by Johnny Kirkham.
You don't know what it's like until you hear the choir do that. I want to thank everybody for all the prayers and stuff this last couple of weeks. It's been a little challenging, so thank you. It means a lot. Thank you, guys. We love you. Thank you. So everybody online, we do have our meet and greet right after our celebration. Join us for that. We have practitioners available for one-on-one prayer. Love to have you here. But you are missing today in this room. And there is corned beef and cabbage and potatoes and all kinds of wonderful stuff. Stick around. When they open the doors, you're going to get a whiff of the smell of this stuff. So it's just amazing. So I want to thank everybody who's brought stuff and food and all that stuff. Thank you for that. So a week from Monday, we are having Donnell's Big Band Swing into Spring. So that is going to be a fantastic concert in here. We're going to fill this room up. If you guys want to get tickets, you better get them now because it's going to sell out. They're $40 for in the room and $30 for online. It's going to be a fantastic 12-piece band up here, lots of singers. Guys want to get tickets for that. It's a week from this Monday. So Vision Connections is a small group. We're calling it small groups to connect our community. So we are starting up small groups here at Vision. What we're trying to do is get connected with all of us. And so if you have ideas and you want to lead a small group of some kind, let us know. We're just getting together and starting to talk about it, and we'll tell you guys more about it as we go along. But we want to connect with all of you in a smaller group situation so we can talk. And it could be all kinds of different things, and we'll tell you more about it as we go on down the road, but it's right on down the road. I miss singing today. You noticed that, right, huh? So we'll tell you guys more about that as we get there. So Be the Change, we're still talking about being volunteer here at Vision. Thank you, everybody who stepped up. You know, there's all kinds of volunteers we do. And today, I want to recognize Mr. T.K. Ekram. Mr. T.K. over here steps up all the time. You see, speaking, stepping up. He always gets up here to do the bowl, right? The guy sings in the celebration singers. He was here for me this week and helped me out in doing the video for us. He does the movie night now. He does greeter. He helps in our compassionate care team. TK Ekram, you are a man, and I appreciate all your work you do. Thank you, and Vision thanks you for that. Be like TK Ekram and join our volunteer program. Love to have you be a part of that. Next week, Reverend Patti will be back. Her talk title is Growing in Grace. And we had Janet Hammer with the house band. So we'll have there. Thanks, guys. Love you.
Okay, we're going to stand up. We're going to say our affirmations. They're up on the big screen. You ready? You're with me? I know they're up there, right? Yay. Okay, we're going to say these together in truth. We know them as truth. We're just going to ground in the energy of these. Are you with me? You ready? I am free to create the life I deserve. My gifts are needed in the world. I belong. Oh, I love that. Wow, there was energy there in that last one. Okay, which one are we saying again? All of them, all of them. Okay, let's do it. They're short. We can remember these. I am free to create the life I deserve. My gifts are needed in the world. I belong. Oh, let's say it again. I belong. Oh, one more time with feeling. I belong. Oh, God, I love it. I just love it. Okay, here's what I want. I would love to see the practitioners kind of make their way into the front, okay? Can you just come up to the front, stand here? I want you to be available for prayer. Well, I know you have to do your thing, but but be available for prayer. Thank you so much. So here's these wonderful beings. So after we sing our song, you can come up and just tap on one of them or say hello or say, I'd like prayer. You don't even have to give the story. Honest to God, here's the deal. The practitioners know truth. They know truth. They put truth in universal mind. You don't even need to say the story. Just say, pray love. Pray joy, pray abundance, whatever. You don't even need to tell them the story if you feel like you want to keep that private. But please get prayer. Okay, you ready? Let's sing out. No, not yet. I'm going to pray out, and then we're going to sing out. Oh my gosh. You see, I change one little thing, and then I forget the rest of the stuff. It's like something new goes into my brain that something old has to fall out. I don't mean that. I really don't mean that. Let's pray. I give great thanks for this day, for the celebration, for knowing God is all there is and we are that, and just feeling the love in this room and feeling the joy in this room. This is truth. This is truth. We create this community each and every time we say yes. We create this community in love, in joy, in vision. We create it with our positive intentions. And we bring this into the world when we leave here today. We bring that love. We bring that unconditional love into the world that is calling for it so desperately. We are the lighthouses of the world. We stand and we shine, and people are attracted, just like boats to a lighthouse, people are attracted to the truth, to the love, to the joy that we are. And by being ourselves, just being our authentic selves, we transform our lives and we transform the lives of those around us. We transform the lives of those people who are attracted to our light. We are the change that we wish to see in the world, and we do it so well and so beautifully and so joyfully. It is all God, it is all good, and so it is. So it is. Yeah, sing.